Ford celebrated its 100th anniversary in June of 2003. And when they did this, they decided to make a special run of Centennial Edition vehicles. And of those cars, they made Mustang GTs in both coupes and convertibles. All of these Centennial Edition vehicles were black, like the original car, and they had this cool badge on the back that said Ford Motor Company Centennial on it. And so the Mustangs looked very similar to other Mustangs from the outside, although you could see that Centennial badge on the fenders and on the back trunk lid. I remember seeing these cars in person at the Ford dealership. I remember looking at the special badging in the seats and all the things that made it special, so I thought that was really cool. And so this was a $995 upgrade, and Ford made 717 coupes and 1,323 convertibles. And the seats in these cars all had the 100th anniversary logo on them, and they were a Verona grain Emola leather. Now, of these convertibles, one of them made its way into the hands of a friend of mine. And something I wanted to do that was really special for this video was to celebrate the Centennial Edition Mustang GT along with the Centennial or 100th video that I've made now of Mustang stories. This is a very special time for me, and I want to thank all my subscribers and everyone who watches the channel and likes these videos. And I want to kick this off with a special story about Victor's Centennial Edition 2003 Mustang GT convertible. Just like me, in 2003, Victor was in auto shop class in high school, and his friend brought in a New Edge Mustang. This is when Victor fell in love with the New Edge Mustangs and really wanted one. Several years later, in 2016, he saw this Mustang GT for sale for the first time. It was sitting with the top down, and there was an older gentleman there with the car. He approached the man and he started talking to him. He noticed that the car was an automatic, which is what he was looking for. And the guy said that he was the original owner and that the car only had 43,000 miles on it. The GT was parked there under a tent, and the guy was sitting there, and when Victor talked to him, he said, well, the car's already sold, but if the guy doesn't come through, then I'll let you know. Victor was with his dad at the time, and his dad could tell how much he loved that car, and his whole family knew how much that he wanted that car. And so some time had passed on, and it was now October 2016, and he decided to go ahead and give the owner a call and see if the car was still available. And to his surprise, the car was still for sale. And so he talked to his family and his father about it, and he convinced his father to go with him and go look at the car. It was about an hour away from their hometown in Northern California. They agreed to meet about halfway for each other, and so they got together, and when he saw the car, it was sitting there with the top down again, and they were really excited to see it, and the owner let him borrow the keys and take the car for a test drive. So his dad drove the car, and he rode in the front seat. And they were going on this little bit of a hill, so he said to his dad, hey, step on it a little bit, because this was their first V8 car. He wanted to feel the power and the torque going up the hill. And his dad did, and he said it felt really good. And he asked his dad, what do you think of the car? And he said to his son in Spanish, he said something to the extent of, está en buena condición, which would be, it's in good condition. It runs good. Side note, I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I lived in Paraguay for 2 years. I learned Spanish. I had to speak it fluently. So when I hear this story, I feel like I can relate, and I feel like I understand exactly what the conversation was like between him and his dad. And so his dad told him, it's really up to you, and I will back you up either way, however you want to do this. And so Victor said he was amazed by the car. He gave it some thought, and he decided to go for it. And so he went and talked to the owner of the car. They went back and forth a little bit on the price. Finally agreed on something that they both could agree on. So Victor asked him if he would like a deposit. And the guy actually said, no, my handshake is my word. We shook hands. So later that week, Victor was able to get the car home and get it in his driveway. So Victor was extremely excited, and he was the proud new owner of this Centennial Edition Mustang GT. Now, something really cool that he did in 2018 was he decided to take the car to his hometown in Mexico, about 2,000 miles away. He said the car drove like a champion, no issues. Needless to say, he was constantly getting looks, and workers at the toll bridges were asking him what kind of Mustang it was. They told him they liked it. At checkpoints, the Mexican army even asked him how much a Mustang like that would typically cost, and he was very excited to get it to his hometown and show it off. Here you can see it parked under the sign that says Bienvenidos a Patzimaro. Bienvenidos means welcome, so that's his town there, saying welcome to this town. So here's some really cool pictures of the Mustang. The red one looks like it has a Mexico plate on it, and here's some other pictures of it down there. And he says that the car right now is sitting at 62,000 miles. He tries to keep it as nice as he can. He only drives it on weekends. He doesn't like to abuse the car, but he does like to do an occasional burnout in it, and that's perfectly fine. That's what these cars were made for, having some fun, occasional burnouts, you know, stuff like that. So we'll go over the mod list on the car. Before he bought the car, it already had the Cervini Stalker body kit and hood. It didn't have the rear bumper part. It had the Celine wheels on it, and it had the bullet style pedals. So looking at this picture, you can see that the car looks like it has the bigger headrests in it, which would be the interior upgrade package. So that would have come with the bullet pedals. It had the Cobra front brakes, you can see them in there between the spokes, and it had a BBK cold air intake. Since he's owned it, he's added Flowmaster 40 series, Optima yellow top battery, high output alternator, Big 3 upgrade, Steeda underdrive pulleys, BBK shorty headers, Ford Performance aluminum drive shaft, LED interior and cluster lights, sequential taillight kit, tinted windows, running pony floor mats, Mach 1 grill delete, aftermarket stereo, and alarm. Something I really like about the car, which I don't know if the original owner did it or if he did, is the roll bar for the convertible. Now, it's not really a functional roll bar. It's called a style bar, as a matter of fact, but it looks really good on convertible cars. So I just wanted to thank Victor for sending all this in. He told me that the content that I make helps inspire him to take care of his car, keep it clean, keep it running strong, and said that even his younger brother is into Mustangs as well. So thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this story. I sure did. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already on here, and like the video, and stay tuned for more of these Mustang stories.